Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and the day has finally come. The day has finally arrived. We have it here, the iPhone XR. We have been waiting to see this phone for months now, and there has been so much controversy over this particular phone, on the screen resolution, on the pricing, on whether it is a budget phone, and we've addressed that ad nauseum in my previous videos. The phone's finally here. It can now speak for itself. So you can see I have the Coral right here. Let's go ahead and open this up and actually get some first hands-on impressions of the iPhone XR. So here we have it, the iPhone XR in Coral. Very interesting color when you're looking at it. It does look almost orange and pink at the same time, depending on the different lighting. I think in video it comes across as more orange than it actually is. You're definitely getting a slight pinkish tone in this orange, but it looks really nice, really sharp, and really vibrant. Definitely has a lot of personality in the color of this phone, and obviously there are many colors to choose from. You can get blue, white, black, red, yellow, or coral. So I'm sure if you've read the title of this video, you know I'm switching from the iPhone XS Max to the iPhone XR. I actually want to give this a real world test. I don't want to lie to you guys and say you should get an iPhone XR without using it for myself, and I plan to use this for a little bit to see how well this actually performs compared to the iPhone X, the iPhone XS, and the iPhone XS Max. So let's go ahead and pop the SIM out of the iPhone XS Max. Ooh, SIM. The SIM is out of the XS Max, guys. I'm doing it. I'm switching. Another interesting tidbit about the iPhone XR, the SIM tray is actually a lot lower than on the iPhone XS Max. But here we go. We have the SIM in. We're going to insert that into the XR. Now let's start booting this thing up so we can get some first hands-on impressions. Okay guys, I took a step away. I've been using this phone for a little while, and first thing you're going to ask me is, how does this screen look? Is Lou from Unbox Therapy right? Is this 720p screen a ripoff and all that fun stuff? No, he's wrong. He's dead wrong. He has lost credibility with me for plaguing this screen. This screen looks awesome. For an LCD screen, this looks really good. And look guys, I got all the phones here. I have an iPhone XS Max, I have an iPhone X, these are both OLED phones, and I have the iPhone XR as well. And guys, it's really close. You're not going to probably be able to see it on video, but these screens look almost identical. Sure, there's some differences with OLED in the characteristics of the display, but they both look just as sharp to my eyes. OLEDs obviously have deeper, better blacks, more dynamic range, you could do HDR video, but LCDs also have some advantages too, with a better white point and more pixels on the sub-pixel level. Apple said this is their brightest LCD to date, and yeah, these both get pretty bright, but this LCD gets super bright. I think this is going to be really good to use in a sunny environment. The size of this phone is also really cool. It's actually in between the sizes of the iPhone XS Max and the iPhone XS, and if you actually compare it, a lot of people are worried that the 6.1 inch screen would be too big for them. They wanted a smaller phone, maybe they wanted to go with the XS. Guys, the differences between these two sizes is almost negligible. They're very close in size, just a hair bigger on the iPhone XR, and you're getting a bigger screen as well, which is really nice. So if you're used to a smaller phone, this actually does fit really nice in just one hand. And if you compare it to the XS Max, you can actually see that it's almost the same size difference going up, but because you're going two sizes up with that Max, that size makes all the difference if you want to use it one-handed. Although I don't have a problem with it. If you have smaller hands or something like that, you may have a problem using it. Another difference with the iPhone XR is its single lens camera. The iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max both have dual lens cameras, which means you get a 2x zoom. It's probably one of the most prominent differences between them. However, the XR, after using it for a little bit, has one advantage compared to the XS or the XS Max, and that is the wide angle portrait mode. So when you normally use portrait mode, you're normally using the second zoom in lens on the iPhone XS Max. That is not the case with the iPhone XR. You're actually using the wide angle lens, which gets in a lot more light, and even though this is a software bokeh effect with the portrait mode, I really like it. I really hope Apple implements a software update to the XS and XS Max to allow these portrait modes to be shot with the wide angle lens. So here's an example. Let me rotate this around and actually try and do a selfie portrait mode with the rear facing camera. Look how much of a wider angle you're getting with that portrait mode. It is really, really nice to have that wider angle, where on the XS Max you're getting a much narrower field of view. So the XR actually has one advantage in the camera department. Now you do lose some of those studio effects, like the studio mono light on the rear camera. You could still do that on the front facing camera with the XR, but you do lose that, so that is one of the bigger bummers with the iPhone XR. XR is just as fast and fluid as the XS or XS Max. It's actually packing the same exact A12 processor, and in some ways it might actually be faster considering it has less pixels to push, because it's only pushing a 326 pixels per inch screen as opposed to a 458 pixels per inch screen. So you actually might get faster animations. It's a little hard to tell, to be honest. It feels fluid, but a lot of my apps are still loading. It's still going through the setup phase, and if you're new to iPhone, when you go through the setup phase on an iPhone, it's gonna be a little bit slower. It's doing a lot of work to load all those apps and to get all your settings in. This phone also just feels really good in the hand. It does have aluminum sidings as opposed to the stainless steel sidings on the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max, but I think it's actually lighter because of that aluminum. It's a lighter phone than both the XS and the XS Max, which does actually feel just really nice, and I don't think the aluminum is really that much less of a premium than the stainless steel on the iPhone XS. I do like the look of the stainless steel, but the aluminum doesn't look bad, and if anything, it's less prone to scratches like on the iPhone XS. You also get these nice vibrant colors with the iPhone XR. The waterproofing is a little bit less, but again, it should survive some light splashes, any quick little drops of water from the rain, so should be fine there. Maybe even a quick drop in the pool should work just fine. I know I've only had this phone for a few hours, but I gotta tell you guys, this might be the best phone Apple has ever released. I'm seeing really little to no compromises from going with a XS Max versus an iPhone XR, and you're saving a lot of money. This is the 128 gigabyte model for $800. This is the 256 gigabyte, and you're spending around $1,250 for this model. Also with the iPhone XR, I still have to test this claim, but apparently you're getting the longest battery life out of an iPhone ever, about an extra 2 hours from the iPhone XS Max, and there's battery stats on apple.com to show you this. But man, if this has a really long battery life, that is something people ask for a lot. It's one of the most requested features that people ask for, a longer battery life, so if this can deliver on that, this might just be the perfect phone. I've heard a lot of people say this phone's thicker, and yeah, I guess it's slightly thicker, if any. I can't even notice it or see it as I'm looking between the two phones side by side. The black borders on this phone are a little bit thicker in the design department. I thought this might bother me before seeing it, but after seeing it, it's only slightly thicker. Really not a big deal, really not a major issue. Almost looks like you have a case already on it, and the case is a little bit overlapping. That's kind of like the effect it gives, but yeah, these black bezels are in no way a deal breaker. They're still pretty slim, and the fact that Apple was actually able to make an LCD phone and stretch the panel below so it doesn't have a chin, and you still get that lovely notch at top, you still get those corner designs. This is a big win that they were able to do this with an LCD phone. Okay guys, so this was just my first initial impressions with the iPhone XR. There's still a lot to test. I still have to use this as a daily unit before I can honestly give you my full review, my full opinion. But if you're looking to buy an iPhone XR today, unless there's something catastrophically wrong with this phone that I overlooked, in the few hours I've been playing with it, I am not kidding when I say this might be the best phone Apple has ever released. Even better than the iPhone XS Max in terms of the pricing, in terms of the screen size, in terms of the way the body is in your hands. It's a perfect compromise between a big screen and a phone that still fits in your hand. Has a really good camera on the back, has Face ID, has all the features you'd find in an iPhone X in just a cheaper body with an LCD screen. And again guys, the LCD screen on this is really good. I gotta say guys, I can barely tell the difference. The screen looks really nice to my eyes at least. I think a lot of people are gonna enjoy this phone. I think this is the iPhone to get if you're in the market for a new iPhone. You really have to want a second camera lens on the iPhone XS Max. You really want to have that giant big screen on the iPhone XS Max to warrant the extra upgrade price to it. And if you're in the market for an iPhone XS, I say skip it. I think just go for the iPhone XR. Save some money, get a nice cool color, and you're gonna be very happy with this phone. I don't think there's any reason to buy an iPhone XS today. Okay guys, I hope you liked that first hands-on impression of the iPhone XR. Let me know what you want to see in my full review of the iPhone XR or follow-up videos in the iPhone XR. I'm going to be reading the comments. I'm going to be interacting with you guys. If you guys want to see anything in the full review that I didn't mention here, there's obviously a lot I didn't mention, just the first hands-on impressions. Let me know in the comments below. I'll try and answer your questions as best I can in the review video. Also guys, if you like the video, make sure you give it a like. If you want to see more content, including a lot more iPhone XR content, maybe the iPhone XR versus the iPhone XS Max and iPhone XS and iPhone X, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be pumping out a lot of content, hopefully. And as always, guys, thank you again for your tremendous support. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.